Well, that's a great question. Now, disclaimer, I am not an accountant, nor am I a tax attorney, and nor do I play one on the internet. So all of this is just my seeing what other people do plus shit what I do myself, all right? For me, the bottom line is this. With all these things, you want to establish your company in the country or territory where you want to pay company tax. And it's as simple as that. So most countries treat companies the same in as much as they treat them as an entity, almost like a person in many, many respects. If you read companies law, they are almost treated like people. And so it makes sense then to put your company into the territory where you want to be paying tax in that country. So for instance, if you wanted to set up in, I don't know, Singapore, where it's 17% corporations tax, you could do that. For instance, it's 19% in the UK, 21% companies tax in the USA, 10% in Andorra, which is somewhere I looked at setting up. But so you could do that, all right? No dramas at all. That's something for you to consider. However, I'm going to tell you something that will probably suck to hear, but I believe it's absolutely true, and I believe it's good, solid information. We won't call it advice, we'll call it information. And it's this. If your business is doing less than $150,000 a year, set up in Australia. Set up in Australia. Now, why? Well, there are two problems with setting up your business in other jurisdictions. The first problem is the cost of setting up in that jurisdiction and then maintaining and filing in that jurisdiction. So, for instance, supposing you had a company an LLC company in the States, somewhere like Delaware or Wyoming or something like that. Well, you've got to set up the company there. Remember, you're not there, so you'll need a proxy director. Well, that's a cost. Not only is it an upfront cost, it's also a yearly cost. And then you'll need to file every year in that country. And you'll need to do it from somebody who's not actually in the country. And invariably that costs more. So there's that to consider, okay? And then the second thing to consider as well is, and I think it's probably the more important thing, is how the hell do you get your money back into Australia? If you live in Australia and you are personally resident in Australia, how the hell do you get your money back into the country? Is the money subject to double taxation treaties? Dagga. So, I don't know. Look, for me, right now, corporations tax, company tax in Australia is 27.5% if you're a small business, 27.5%. But the setup cost is pretty small for a company, $500, something like that, to set up through, if you do it yourself, through e-companies, a couple of grand if you use somebody like Arnold Shields at Dolman Bateman. And then the ongoing costs. I personally think if you're less than 150,000, the downsides outweigh the cost, potential tax savings that you would make. All right. Now, so that's I guess my unsolicited, uneducated advice. If you want to get good at this, what I'm going to suggest you do is go and subscribe to one of my mates, Nomad Capitalist, Andrew Henderson, who's somebody I've had on my inner circle. He's a freaking awesome guy. He is the guy who advises me on my tax strategy, all right? Go to his YouTube channel and become a subscriber. He gives some awesome information for freebies. Go and check out Andrew Henderson, Nomad Capitalist. He's bloody awesome. And when you're ready for that next level of tax advice, go see Andrew. He's bloody brilliant. He really, really gets online businesses and the ability to move money around legally to reduce your taxes legally. He really gets that. All right, so that's what I would do. Hope that helps. Yes, Demo says, plus you get some write-offs each year. You absolutely do get write-offs if you're in Australia. Yes, so go see Andrew. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales I've used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.